Next tonight, the Nottingham Church minister, who represents thousands of victims of the Windrush citizenship scandal, has told this programme that it could happen again. Clive Foster is calling for assurances that asylum reforms won't have unintended consequences for people who are here legally. He's also revealed that he gave a personal briefing to the King and Queen and Prince of Wales last week before meeting victims in Hyson Green on his national listening tour. Our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball was there.
We need to ensure that there is complete justice.
A pastor on a mission to right the wrongs of the past, back on home turf in Nottingham as the UK's new Windrush Commissioner.
You have to stay the course.
Clive Foster's listening tours heard traumatic stories from people denied their legal right to jobs and housing here, some wrongly detained and deported after living here legally for decades.
I'm hearing the trauma, and my responsibility is about looking how we can build relationships, build back trust. As well as hearing the pain and the suffering, I've been very privileged to see people who represent the country, wearing their medals, being very proud to be British.
The Windrush scandal affected Commonwealth citizens invited to rebuild the UK after World War II. They had a legal right to settle here, but the Home Office failed to keep their records or issue paperwork confirming their indefinite leave to remain.
There was a lady from Ghana who has been in this country for over 60 years. She's 80 years old, sadly has cancer, but she was stuck out in Ghana for over 4 months and she could not come back into the country over some technicality. We said to the passport office, let's look at this with compassion and let's get the person back into the country and then we can sort out any technicalities.
And now, as the government tries to stop illegal crossings, Clive Foster's warning the Windrush scandal could happen again because people accepted as genuine refugees would have their cases reviewed every 2.5 years.
I think it's a danger because what we do know by the Windrush scandal is that there were people who had the legal and moral right to be here, and those policy changes resulted in them suffering tremendous losses. We cannot react, I believe, in a way which is going to cause further harm to people unintended.
Will you be speaking to ministers about that?
I certainly will. Proper stress testing, proper consultation with communities is going to be vital going forward.
There has, I guess, recently been a pushback in some quarters from people against what they see as a bit of a woke agenda they often talk about, don't they? Do you feel that that's some kind of threat to what you're trying to achieve?
It concerns me a lot because on my tour I am hearing people talk about the hard-won gains over the years of safeguarding citizenship may be lost as a result of this type of rhetoric. People feel a disconnection to a country that they should be calling home.
There was a minute's silence for Jamaica's hurricane victims at the Nottingham listening event. That's an island where the Windrush Commissioner is now planning to take his work overseas.
There are some people that decided to go over to Jamaica, mainly probably for a holiday, family reasons, things like that, and then they, for some reason, cannot come back into the country. And so that's why it's important that they understand that they have rights still to have their citizenship in the UK.
And back in Hyson Green, Tracy described years of fear and silence as her husband tried to prove his immigration status decades after moving from Jamaica.
He became afraid to leave the house.
His compensation brought closure, she says, but didn't erase the pain.
Jeremy, how many people does this affect?
Well, we heard at that event on Saturday that almost 20,000 people have now contacted the Windrush team to confirm their immigration status. £118 million paid out in compensation so far, and Clive Foster has already secured improvements to that compensation scheme. 3 key changes. The government has agreed to reimburse lost pensions and immigration fees. There are going to be payments up front if cases are delayed by a challenge to the amount that's offered. And also elderly and vulnerable people are now going to be prioritised. We also heard that law students in Leicester helped one man who was wrongly deported to Jamaica. He's now received £75,000 in compensation. And they say there are now even British-born children of Windrush victims who are struggling to prove their citizenship.
they are having a currently bad life. Some of these people are homeless. Some of these people are having children that are having problems in education or having problems opening up a bank account. So although these traumas may have happened many, many years ago, there are still a current link.
Any more response from government?
Well, yeah, the Home Office told me it has learned lessons from the Windrush scandal to make sure that can't happen again. And it says people who have settled here lawfully will not lose their indefinite leave to remain. And the statement goes on, we recognise the need to get these reforms right. And because of that, everyone's being encouraged to have their say in a consultation.
OK, Jeremy, thanks very much indeed for that. Thank you.